to lead, 13-2. I'm looking at Team Liquid, and it seems like they're not going to make too big of a move over, as they left Greymane in the top. And if you want to actually fight for that shrine, you would bring Greymane down. So they elect to go ahead and work on getting experience and push in the middle instead to grab turret experience. But already, Zealots are in a good spot to defend this. Zarmony on the side here, they find Splendor. The tongue misses, so Splendor might be able to get away.
Yes, Splendor is in an interesting spot over there, but as we could see, the tongue missed, Zarmony didn't connect it, and therefore Uther could walk away. Royal Focus build for Leoric again, Laws of Hopes for Johanna, so a lot of self-sustain here, especially since we saw him spec into Regeneration Master as the level 1 talent here too. But this is an easy Punisher for the Zealots. Team Liquid opted to stay on lane instead and try to get some extra experience through that, which they succeeded in doing, but now it's a question how fast can they burn down the Immortal to make sure that the Zealots are not completely running over that fort at the bottom.
With Dark Monk there here, being able to work on that Punisher, they should be able to clear it up. For me, it's an answer on how quickly Greymane can deplete that top lane on the top right side. With Uther being there, you can really commit to the idea of killing that fort while Dahaka does his best to clear out. This Punisher, though, is doing a little bit more than it should be. Nurok's getting low, and Nurok actually dies.
Yeah, that was a good flank here. So Nurok is down, the fort is gone, the Zealots take a lead. And especially in infrastructure, it's a significant one. Another wall completely open, but at least Liquid could destroy the fountain well up at the top lane. That's important for any potential fight later on at the top shrine. And also, they're starting to go deep for Zarmony. They don't quite get the kill, but it's a lot of free damage. And with Johanna now starting to move in, they have a shot at taking the fort down. Zealots are reacting to this push quite late.
Look at the Mercs here on the right side in the middle. That'll push in, and now they can move up to clear out that push that was coming towards their way. Seems like Team Liquid's not fully committing, but they want to get Zealots in this general direction on the top side, so Leoric can open up that bottom side. Remember, he is going for that Royal Focus build. So if he can pull Zealots and their resources towards the top to clear that out, he'll be able to be more effective. So far, though, Zealots haven't bitten on this.
Now, interestingly enough, we have Johanna holding back her level 7. Okay, here we go. Last time we saw Sins Exposed being taken. This time it's the Blessed Momentum. Not going for Conviction to get the Engage and Disengage tool with Condemn, instead having the cooldown reaction ready. One of the worst cooldown reaction talents in the game still, with 0.5 second reduction with each auto attack.
Yeah, it used to be much higher. Got nerfed a long time ago to make sure that Johanna wasn't popping out those condemns consistently, but still one that a lot of teams seem to favor. Big Sounds comes out, Splendor will be forced to pull on back. He's low on health, and Zealots, with their invade, force Team Liquid off the Merc camp.
Yeah, I really like that we've once seen, I think it was on the North American side, a full Condemn build on, well, not full Condemn, but a build on Johanna, which basically only thought about, okay, I want to get as much wave clear as possible with a mana talent on level 1, thanks to your Punish, and then simply speccing into Condemn instead for a mass cooldown reduction, mass Condemns, and with the mana regeneration, the sustain on lane that you have, so we are just a walking machine to clear waves out. It was quite funny because it was a different approach to Johanna. I really liked seeing that, but the traditional build, of course, evolves a lot around the Laws of Hope as a standard level 4 talent, and then you have a little bit of wiggle room on level 1 and 7 depending on your opponent's setup.
Yeah, if you want to get into the fight a little bit quicker without going in for a flank, you can get that speed available at level 7, but sometimes it's all about just being able to work on those auto attacks and keep your Lunar alive so she can apply the damage. This build can be very effective there. Now, 10 is right around the corner for both of our teams. Zealots a little bit closer, and they might be even closer after getting a kill on Nurok. There it is. 10 hits for Zealots, and they will be ahead of their opponent by a quarter of experience.
Now Liquid is giving up the top shrine again. They are busy at the bot lane, and we've been talking in the past about how the first two Punishers are really strategical decisions. How do you feel your team fight looks against your opponent? Do you get more value by pushing out a lane and you give the Punisher over to the opponent's team instead? And that's something that Team Liquid is deliberately doing here. They're saying, you can take the Punisher, we don't have a problem with that, but we're going to trade at the bot lane for structures, and this is what they're doing. Right now, both the teams are still extremely close, and Boyka actually eating a lot of damage here. Nurok nearly getting a kill in, but in the end he has to move away. Still fighting 1 versus 2.
Yeah, the Consume Soul really helping him out there, being able to have 2 charges where he can basically just devour a minion and get healed up, working out for him, giving him 500 health per minion he takes out, so 1,000 jump up. Able to work there, get that Punisher moving in. And so that trade for Team Liquid that they attempted to pull off, not really getting too much value out of it. They get a well and a bit of damage, but now they have to decide if they want to move up and defend this Punisher, and they're going to start doing so while leaving Johanna in the middle to soak, while Leoric meanders his way down there to clear it up.
Yeah, so from a structural point of view, Zealots definitely pulling ahead in this game. But in experience, they're only a bit ahead of Team Liquid, roughly by a level, and I don't think that's going to increase too much. So Liquid is still doing okay here. They gave up the early 2 fights, or the early 2 Punishers, because they said, yeah, we're not going to get too much in that 5 versus 5 setup. We gain more if we try and put Greymane onto one of the off lanes, and that worked out for them. They're not falling too far behind, let's put it like this. So I think in their book, it's still totally fine here. It's all about the next shrine where they should really start to make a fight there happen. But the problem, of course, is the 13. Are they going to be able to get that in time? But at this point, they are attempting to fight a fight before 13 even becomes a problem, and we're seeing that right now.
They're going to commit here. Odin will be popped. Big sounds coming out. Mosh Pit as well. Mopsio's low on health. He may need to back up. There he does. He power slides away while Zarmany and Poik are in trouble. Poik going to try and drain life, but with the Divine Shield coming out, Greymane's going to slay him.
Poik is down, and they go for Mopsio. ETC is low, but can they kill him? They cannot. Interesting was also that Flail was used by Stukov, by Grandpa Keta, to basically push them out of the mosh pit. Don't think that they lost too much out of it. The mosh pit still nearly got the entire duration through, so it wasn't really a fight changer necessarily. It was still a bit of a chaotic battle that we saw, and it ended with Team Liquid getting an important kill, but not being able to pick up the second one against ETC.
Using it there to keep the Tychus alive that was underneath the Entomb. Hang on, Nurok, maybe a little bit too far underneath this turret. Oh, he gets burned down at the last second there, as he is going to be cleaned up. And Team Liquid will lose out on the Leoric. He'll be back soon. They got to start working on some forts soon. Now, that fort in the top is pretty low in terms of structures. They're actually kind of even with Zealots, but I want to see them start moving in for a Punisher. They have the tools to actually work on clearing them up.
Now, I have to talk about one thing with Leoric. I think it's a little bit tunnel vision that every Leoric player these days goes into Royal Focus. I love the build. I think it's fantastic, but I think the main strength of Royal Focus is really shown when you try and soak 2 lanes and not if you are on 1 lane overall. If you focus on a single lane, I think you get a lot more value, especially if you want to go deep, which makes you a little bit more exposed if you go into Heart and Bones instead. So I think a lot of Leoric players, not saying that necessarily in this case, it's just something that I've seen over the last few days, Royal Focus has become that standard, and I think there are good arguments to be made also for Heart and Bones. But now in this fight, Mopsio is low as Leoric makes a really good move with a great Entomb, and that nets a kill, but Lunara has fallen as well.
Good catch there by Team Liquid. Lumpy might be in trouble. He's getting poked down. Remember, Odin has been utilized, so we're going to have Team Liquid back up and try and wait out that duration as Shad is just shelling away. But everyone from Team Liquid does survive the fight. Main problem, though, they don't win the Punisher phase. It all goes over to the Zealots here as they'll get the Punisher in the middle.
And we have for Lunara, Giant Killer taken on 13. I have to admit I would have preferred the greater spell shield. You have a single support compared to a double support in your setup, and you also have Greymane already in the lineup. So against Tychus and Gul'dan, greater spell shield would really help to keep you alive a little bit longer. The damage was there, but Lunara falling is an issue. They made the trade against one of the tanks, and as you already said, that allowed the Zealots to go for the Punisher again, which now barrels down into the bot lane. Liquid still has the lead in experience, which is fantastic for them, but they need to really be careful, because when it comes to structures on the map, they are falling farther and farther behind.
Yeah, on the flip side, I can see Giant Killer being good if you can get the Entomb and you burn down a tank, so that way you don't have to actually steal him the Gul'dan and his Fell Flame they're constantly coming out. I think it's a really hard trade-off, actually, looking at this composition. I think the Greymane is what really makes it possible for you not to need that Giant Killer. And speaking of burning down tanks, ETC is gone.
Yeah, ETC is gone, and that was a quick one. That was a really nice engagement. Oh my god, that Entomb was even better. Good Horrify coming out of Poik here, forcing them back, but that's a very good trade in cooldowns in favor of Team Liquid now. So they are starting to gain a lot of momentum here with stealing a camp away from the opponent, heading into level 16 slowly and steadily, and they are definitely starting to find their rhythm.
That they are. Low kill counts between our teams, but important kill counts for every single engage that has occurred. If you look at Zealots, their kills have been on Leoric, but Team Liquid has been able to land these Entombs and move in 4 situations. With them moving in the late game here, the 16 power spike hitting for both Lunara and Greymane, things are looking a little bit dire for Zealots.
Yeah, Zealots at this point are starting to definitely fall behind a little bit. They haven't taken the fort at the top and the mid lane. They're all both incredibly low. The only thing that has to happen is the Haka moving in and hitting 2 hits, and then they are both down. That would be quite a bit of experience. But Liquid are the ones that are now committing fully to the buildings. And the Zealots just haven't really found that groove that they had in the last 2 games. So good for Liquid to put up a fight here, and I enjoy that quite a bit. But let's see if the Zealots, with level 16, can now fight for the next shrine that appears on the map, because that would be an important victory for them if they can make that work.
Yeah, this is where they have been excelling as a team, is the shrine phase. They've won a total of 4, I believe, in this game. And this will be the 5th one here at the very far south. And then if this one is picked up by Zealot, it will start to move towards a keep.
When we're talking about shrines, keep in mind that Leoric also went into his 13 burning range, as did Johanna. So it's again area of effect damage that you see here. Typically with Leoric, what you are doing on 13 is to go into the extra damage on your Drain Hope, because you're trying to use the Entomb and then Drain, which allows you at the full duration to get another percentage damage in. But if you're fighting on Infernal Shrines, you get a lot of value out of Burning Rage, and this is why Liquid has now a very good position to raise the objective. Nice Entomb once again. Dehaka burning in the backline. Mobsio a bit low here, and already we're having a lot of damage pushed out by Greymin in particular, with good cocktails against the backline heroes.
But Zealots may have to hang on a second here. They need to get Mopsio back and healthy here. They're working on it slowly, as Stuka will finally be able to spread that pathogen. There goes the heals, and Zealots will grab this Punisher as they turn around and fight forward in. Team Liquid will start to advance, as they would love to stop this here. Here's Nurok on the side. Can he get the engage on a tank?
Liquid did a good job waiting until Odin was off, so now they can fight, and this is the moment when the Zealots have to back off. That was actually really well played by Liquid, identifying that they could just heal up again, wait for Odin to drop out, and then go in. And now look at already Gul'dan being low here, thanks to Hazop's cocktail. Nurok, on the other hand, he falls. The swipes come in, but this is still not over just yet. Hazo tries to poke with Darkmog as well, but it is again the Zealots that are able to get it.
That was an unfortunate death there for Nurok. He was trying to get the engage right when Entomb was coming up, so they could force a fight.
Exactly. The Entomb would have been great if he can land that. If he just waits a little bit longer, I think they were quite eager to get this going for themselves. But now the Zealots move towards the first keep. Now keep in mind, of course, that we are going to see a very strong defense from Liquid, as they have all their poke heroes still available. And it's unlikely that the Zealots will be able to take the keep here, especially with Leoric now being back too and Dehaka still at the top lane. But it's still a bit of a nuisance for Liquid and allows the Zealots to completely close the experience gap.
Open the keep wall as well too, so the next Punisher in that bottom lane will move towards a keep. The defense easily done here for Team Liquid, but Zealots already moving towards that 18 and the Mercs in the middle. And remember, there are 2 forts they can move and grab, which will reward them some nice experience.
And I'm absolutely loving that this third game is really just back and forth the entire time. It's pretty cool to watch. Liquid, of course, fighting for their life in this match right now, and that is crucial. But at the same time, we have the Zealots starting to really make them work for it. They had a bit of a bad spot in the late mid-game, where it was a bit rough for them to really find their rhythm here, but now in the last fight they did a lot better again. And I want to see if Liquid can close this one out, because we've seen some beautiful engagers with Entombs on the side of Nurok. But if we see Darkmog also with Lunara and Hazop providing that damage, an early kill against the frontliner, for example, can always turn the tide in the favor of the blue team.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where the next shrine might be that point where we actually do see Team Liquid come back in. But yes, you are right. Zealots is already at the top side. They're clearing out the waves, breaking open the entire keep wall, which again allows the next Punisher to be effective for that top lane if they're able to grab it.
Yeah, that was a free wall. Well done. Good rotation. Liquid didn't really see it coming, which also grants Zealots now the advance in experience, especially since they also dropped the 2 forts. Here could be the Entomb, and yep, they hit it. Immediately we need the silence, but Cursed Bullet comes out. Horrify, Mopsio is down, and that is the kill that I've been talking about earlier. Trying to get the fast kill in, and look at that, Shat also burning Odin. As long as Liquid doesn't lose anyone yet, this is fantastic for them. They get the second kill against Tychus, and Zamani might fall as well. Liquid, with fantastic engagements here, is getting a massive lead.
And the Shrine activates too, especially here in the middle. Perfect for Team Liquid. They also get an experienced lead, opening up the middle. So Zealots now should be able to work on a defense. Wait a minute, Team Liquid decides they want to start pushing for this bottom side. They want to move in towards the keep.
Yeah, and they can. They have another 24 seconds until ETC is back. They can get value. They only leave 1 up at the Shrine, and that gives them the lead they need. Keep in mind, the Shrine is only activating in 4 seconds. So this is, I like this. I love it. This is perfect. This is the max that you can get out of it. You can get a safe keep, and then you move back. You have 1 hero behind that already works on the Punisher. That was perfect. It gives you 20, gives you everything that you want. Perfect use of time here by Team Liquid. Great call.
Well, gotta talk about Zealots there, man. You gotta make sure that if you're going for an escape, you gotta mount up and run. The reason why Mopsio got caught there is because he did not mount up like the rest of his team. Leoric came in and brought that into him. Good pickup by Team Liquid, but Zealots missing out on that slight ability to mount. Now it's all about the Shrine here, and Team Liquid has already started here. 27-0, working on that 40. Zealots' main goal is to get a 20 themselves and work on a miracle defense.
Yeah, right now we have great tools available for Liquid already, with Spectral Leech being one of them, Redemption of course, and the Indestructible for Johanna. Zealots, they know they cannot fight here. Fighting at this point with the 20s that Liquid has on these heroes would be suicide. That's why I'm not even trying to pull that off. But Liquid is waiting. They know that it's going to be a 20 versus 20, so they're just saying, well, maybe we can make a little bit more work, steal the camp away here. The Zealots see it, but they do not have that 20 yet, so they have to simply let it happen. But Liquid can now take the last minion. 20 is going to hit for the Zealots, and then it's just a question of Team Liquid getting a kill or not getting a kill. This can decide if it's keep or game.
That was a cool maneuver there. That makes Zarmani stay in the top lane, or at least Gul'dan some kind of wave clear to make sure that they're able to handle that pushing into their keep, which makes Team Liquid's 5-man push with the Punisher that much stronger into the middle. Big jump in. Goes in straight in for Dahaka. Dahaka will burrow away. Shad will be forced to pop his Odin here, hoping to help clear out this shrine, but also put damage on his opponents.
Yeah, very early Odin. Odin is, if Liquid moves away right now, that keep is going to fall, and then they can just simply take it easy, because Nurok is already low. They get the keep, that's guaranteed. The question is, can they do more? And ideally, they would wait until Odin is off. Fighting against the big red button here is just a bit too much. Tempt with the mosh pit. Nurok still low, Dahaka comes in, the cleanse is true. Well done by Splendor, keeping all of them alive. Good poke also on the side of Nurok here. Really well done. Sorry, Darkmok with Lunara. And that's the second keep that has now fallen. The shields are under attack from the catapults. So from a macro perspective, Team Liquid has now an incredible lead against their opponent.
Catapults will get cleared up, but Zealots will have to continue to clear up this middle and this bottom constantly.
So now you are in a position, as Team Liquid, where it becomes a little bit weird. Ideally, you want to team fight on one hand because you have done really well so far when you get a good engage. At the same time, you can now play the macro game since two lanes are pushing in against the Zealots. But in addition to that, there's a Dahaka against you and you don't have a global. So getting that side soak or pushing these waves in is becoming a little bit more difficult to you. Leoric can make it work with the lingering apparition that he has, but you don't want to lose a hero, not even Leoric in this instance. So Liquid is just setting up traps right now. They're playing a lot with vision. They have the lanes pushed out, so the Zealot's vision is really limited. And this is one of the crucial aspects if you're playing games yourself, guys. Look at the minimap right now and see how far these lanes are pushed in. That means the Zealots don't see anything on this map at this point. So this is why Liquid can set up these traps. And even if nobody walks into them, it's still worth it because the Zealots have to be super afraid wherever they're stepping that they run into a trap.
They have to be cautious, and there's a point where ETC can get caught out randomly from walking into these bushes. You see them afraid to walk into anything here. They need to know where their opponents are at. They see Nurok in the middle, but they don't engage on Nurok, not knowing where the other 4-man sec is, which again allows for Leoric to be a little bit more effective too.
And now they take the camp. Already Gul'dan has poked a little bit earlier. Second poke is a bit too late. Mopsio needs to be careful, and Tomb is being used. Nurok a little bit too trigger happy. The rest of the team wasn't there at that moment, so he burns that cooldown, but he forces Zarmani into that fight now as well. Shrine is active, and it is a bottom lane shrine that has positive and negative points for the Zealots. Positive is that the shrine is close to the two lanes where they lost keeps, so they can defend against the waves and catapults are not putting them on a timer. The bad spot is, if they lose the shrine, they very likely lose the game.
Zarmani did force a cleanse earlier, so they're trying to force another fight here, trying to move in. There's a good 25 seconds until that cleanse is back up and available, so Mosh Pit can be double effective here. They are working on that bottom side, clearing it out as much as they can to Dahaka, but here comes ETC moving in. And Zealots, they need to fight this Punisher. They cannot allow for it to go over to Team Liquid. They pop the Odin, and they start moving in. And
it's an early Odin, so now you can move away and just give the Shrine up for now. That's fine. Just let him go on the Shrine, and then you can take it. So they have to play smart here. Liquid wants to play smart. Entomb more so to help Lumbi than anything else. Mopsio is going in, but he's completely blocked from the rest of the team and has to use the Bolt of the Storm to get out of here. Still 23-10. They can wait for Odin. They're moving back. They're all low. Liquid has to be careful here. Still poking away, but once that Odin drops, they have a very good chance to move in.
That's a drop. There it is. It does drop. Germany is able to grab Splendor, but Splendor moves forward, drops a stun. The swipe comes out from Grandpa. We do have the hack on the side. Leoric gets poked off, but Dark Monk's low on health. He has to be careful. Mosh Pit, Johanna's dancing, but the Divine Shield comes out.
And they're going for Mopsio immediately. They're trying to drop him here. Uther is dead, but he has Redemption, and he now has the reduced cooldown on his heal, so that's actually good for them.
More.
There comes the
Two more.
fight. It's getting close. Punisher has taken, and they are going in again, trying to at least kill Mopsio. They cannot kill him, and without a single hero falling on the Zealot side, this is super annoying for Liquid. One kill would have been great for them, but now Zealots move in with a strong Punisher in the late game here, 23 minutes into the game, attempting to not only drop the key, but ideally pick up a second kill and go for the core.
And Nurok's setting up for when he comes back from his death. He's able to push in the middle and the bottom side here. He wants to get these catapults moving it towards the core. In fact, he can even move towards a keep. At some point, he may have to back up, though, because Zealots, they are committing to this push. The Punisher jumps in. It's on the middle keep here. Shadow's on the back left side, and Odin is available.
Those are late game catapults that are there for Team Liquid right now, but they know that the core is the goal of the Zealots, and the Zealots are moving in. Nurok at this point, he has taken the wave away already. The catapults are on the core. They are on the clock right now, but the race is on as the Zealots are going for it. They're trying to win this right away. Poik is low on his cooldown, but he's still alive. Finally falling, but it might be too late as the core is already down
30,
to 30%. He's down to 20 as they are moving
10.
in, and the Zealots are going to claim victory against Team Liquid with a 3-0.
Zealots with a strong early game, a great display in these entire 3 games they played in, still make it happen in the finals, playing around the Punisher, getting it cleared up, using the Odin to great effectiveness, and pushing forward and getting a major victory over Team Liquid. They're going to overtake them in the standings.
Yeah, they are in a very, very good spot now. So again, just to give you a bit of a perspective, it's not only about the matches. Zealots are now 2-0 against Liquid. In part 1 and part 2, they won both of these games. And again, it means that if they are able, the Zealots, to win a game, or sorry, a series, against either Expert or Dignitas, all of a sudden they would be in a fantastic spot to make it to the HGC finals at BlizzCon. Or, well, maybe not fantastic, but in a very realistic spot all of a sudden. A team that just this season entered HGC, that came from the Crucible through the Open Division. So pretty fantastic weekend for the Zealots. They get both of their wins. And it looked really good for Liquid for long stretches of the last map here, but in the end, the Zealots are victorious.
Looking much better for Zealots. And now if you're the other teams that are currently in the top 4 slots here of the HGC, you're thinking about the Zealots and how scary they look as a team. These last 2 games they had, both against Strict and Team Liquid, has really built them a strong case for all the teamwork and the foundation they've been building for the last 6 weeks. This hot streak they're on right now, I hope they can continue it, because it is very exciting to watch.
For the other teams, it was definitely a bit of a warning shot, just saying, all right, didn't quite expect that. Might be Team Liquid playing a little bit weaker, making some mistakes, but at the same time, we cannot underestimate the Zealots, since they might be able to just surprise us. And especially in that last fight, again, it came down to an early used, in my opinion, not the only mistake, so I'm not trying to blame this on the player, but the early used Entomb by Nurok made sure that they didn't have the Entomb when they needed it in the team fight. That was a bit of an issue for them. And then they couldn't kill Mopsio. He was so low. 3 times it really looked okay, he's dying. And you could see Darkmonk and Lunara turning around and saying, okay, one more hit and you're gone. Gets the hit in, and all of a sudden the heal comes through again, and he just doesn't die. If ETC falls there, then it's not, at least the core doesn't happen.
Yeah.
They lose the key, but they won't lose the core. But with a 5 versus 5, with a late game Punisher, so let's make doing everything right here after they already lost 2 keeps in that situation.
I mean, that was just a good display of playing together. The Zealots there using the resistance on the ETC to make sure to stay alive long enough to dance around the Stukov, get the heal spread out, the bio kill switch coming off.
Yeah, and also it comes back to the spawning of the shrine. Oftentimes we're saying, hey, if the shrine spawns on a map or on a lane where the team has no keep left, then of course that's the worst case scenario. But in this case, it actually helped them. If that shrine spawns top lane, it's a checkmate position, because you have the 2 bottom lanes pushing in against the core, and then the only thing that Team Liquid has to do, delay.
That's it.
Sit tight, wait it out, and wait until the catapult's on the core, and then the Zealots would have been in a spot where they say, we need to send someone back and deal with this, but at the same time, once a hero shows bot lane or mid lane, Liquid is immediately going to jump on a 5 versus 4. So in this case, this positioning actually worked out in Zealot's favor.
Well, speaking about the Zealots and getting their victory, we have Shad here to talk to him about the matches that happened today. Shad, you guys beat Team Liquid once already, but coming in and beating them a second time is pretty darn impressive. Did you guys expect to have such a strong victory today?
Well, not to be honest, no. I thought we could take it, but 3-0 is really good. Like, well, this last game was actually really, really hard, but the other two were more convincing from us, I think.
Do you think that you as a team is just growing and that you just seem to be a pain point for Team Liquid, or you think Team Liquid's falling off a little bit?
I don't know. I think definitely, I think we're better. And it is possible that we haven't seen the best of Team Liquid at least the first two games. Maybe not their best draft either. I don't know. We were able to respond to their Vikings pick in Dragonshire, and the first game in Tomb, I think we had the better draft, way better draft.
Well, today you were definitely the better team. Congratulations on your victory. I'm going to send you over to Caldor.
Again, congratulations. You guys played fantastic today. Do you actually realize that you are starting to have a very good shot to qualify for BlizzCon if you